Hey, what's up? This is Reed. For the last week, I've been using the Hue Gradient Light Strip, which was just announced. It's addressable, so it can show multiple colors and brightnesses at once to match what's on the TV. And as you can see, it looks incredible. So what makes it cost more than all of these light strips combined? Well, let's start off first with the hardware. The Hue Gradient Light Strip is way thicker than any others that I've seen. It's built into a flexible channel cover so the light is diffused. There are 7 zones on this strip with 2 on each side and 3 on the top. They come in 3 different sizes depending on how big your TV is. My TV is 58 inches and I got the 55-inch size since Hue recommends rounding down. These gradient light strips come out next month and Philips Hue was nice enough to send me some early for a review. However, they did not have any input on what I would say or get to see this video early. In the box, you also get these plastic mounts, which makes it easy to install on the back of your TV. The light strip has an arrow in the middle to help you easily center it. Just make sure to have the power supply on the left side if you're facing the screen. That way the lights will sync up with the correct side. The mount clamps onto the light strip and I really like this design. I've used brackets before and they are definitely the way to go. The gradient strips connect quickly to the Hue bridge, which you need for these to work. In the Hue app, you can change the white temperature to be warm and cool. The colors are good, but not super bright. They can only be one solid color using the Hue app. To have the gradient effect, you need to have the Sync box or the free Hue Sync software on a Mac or PC. Hue says they're working on adding controls that you can manually change the gradient in the app. But for now, it only changes when you're watching TV. Before I got the gradient strip, my previous Hue Sync setup looked pretty good. On the TV, I had 2 play bars, 1 on each side. I had a regular Hue light strip on a shelf for lighting above. Then I had 2 Hue bulbs on the bottom as well. I made a video about it, and you can go check it out if you want to see more footage. But what's interesting is that throwing the gradient light strips on the back of my TV didn't instantly make my setup better. Let me explain. So I first moved the play bars from behind the TV to down below, but all of the original lights were a little too much with the addition of the gradient strip. This is what I did to fix it. First, I turned off the light strip up top and the 2 Hue bulbs below. The gradient light strip does not cover the bottom part of the TV. Now, if the TV is on a stand, it might not be that big of a deal, but when it's mounted, there is a dark void that doesn't look good. You're killing me, Smalls. Also, since I have a 58-inch TV, the sides aren't covered all the way. Hue recommends placing the light strip slightly closer to the center to avoid this, only if you have a TV in between sizes like I do. However, my TV's mounting brackets limited where I could place them, so I couldn't really do that. I was able to eventually find a solution though. I tried moving the play bars behind, pointing down. The play bars were a little too bright compared to the light strip, so it was distracting. This is one of my biggest complaints that I even said in the last video. You cannot adjust the brightness ratio or level for individual lights. You can only adjust the brightness of all the lights together. This forced me to physically move the play bars to fix it. I placed them down below pointing up again, then I moved them further away from the wall to get a soft, even spread of light below the TV. This filled in the bottom and missing side sections as well. With the gradient light strip, the colors and brightness are much more accurate compared to my previous setup. Each little section is fine-tuned to match what's on the screen, making it less distracting and more enjoyable to watch. This is the way. So just keep that in mind if you already have Hue lights. You might need to adjust them or use less lights with a gradient strip. But if you're just getting started, you won't need to buy as many lights, which is a benefit. Now that I have it set up to have an even glow around the TV, here are the best brightness and intensity levels in my opinion. After trying all 4 intensity levels, my favorite was moderate. The gradient behind the TV is still accurate, but it's not as jarring as the high or extreme levels. On my last video, I said high intensity was my favorite, but with these gradient lights, it's different. With the higher intensities, the colors and brightness can change very quickly, making it distracting. Maybe for gaming, I would bump it up, but even then, I just liked it at moderate intensity. These light strips are plenty bright to go behind the TV at 1100 lumen. I kept the brightness around 45 to 50%. I wouldn't go lower than 40% brightness because you might not get the full effect. I watched Thor Ragnarok on here and it looked amazing. The lights stayed dim and not distracting when they were supposed to, then got super bright and colorful during action scenes, which really enhanced the movie. A couple of quick things about the Sync box. Since my last video, there have been some updates, and it now works with HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision. It also works with Amazon and Google's voice assistants. You can change the input and other things like the intensity or brightness. As much as I like voice control, I can now use an IR remote or a Harmony remote to control the sync box, which is much more convenient. The way I set mine up is using the extra buttons on the Samsung remote to change the inputs of the sync box. Also, one turns it on and off. Then I have the up and down arrows control the Hue Sync brightness. The right and left arrows change between moderate and high intensity. Now I can quickly make adjustments while watching something without opening my phone or using my voice. Just be aware of two things with the sync box. It won't work with the smart apps on your TV. It only works with devices plugged into the sync box. I have a Fire Stick, Chromecast, Nintendo Switch, and Apple TV all plugged in, and they work fine. Also, it does not support HDMI 2.1, so no 4K at 120 Hz for those new gaming consoles. Okay, back to the gradient light strips. These cost $200, which is way more than other smart light strips. LifeXZ, for example, costs half the price, but it cannot sync with your TV. I know you can buy some addressable light strips and do this yourself with a bunch of work. However, Hue makes this very easy to do, and it's reliable. So that does come at a cost. But if you're good at something, never do it for free. These light strips are really designed for Hue users, and they're not for everyone. If you want to fine-tune your Hue Sync setup with less lights and more accurate colors, then the gradient light strips could be a good fit. I cover Philips Hue and light strips a lot on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments if you think these light strips are worth buying to use with the Hue Sync. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Let's play Rainbow Road.
Oh, okay, sure. I know, there's too many colors.
I win.
Ah.
Works every time.